This is Behind the Screen with,
Hello, I'm Nate. I'm the head coach of Chiefs Esports.
and you guys are going to be competing in the upcoming Esports World Cup that's going to be held in Paris. You guys are playing for a chance at $2 million in a spot at the Six Invitational in 2027. How you guys feeling? And yeah, how are you personally feeling, Nate?
Yeah, I think the boys are feeling pretty good. I think it's a bit of a different vibe to past events I've been to because I think everyone's on the same wavelength of I think we know we're kind of the underdogs here and people don't expect us to make it too far, but that's just going to work perfectly in our favor.
Yeah, I
And I
mean,
think
go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, especially knowing with like EWC and stuff, like we're more playing for ourselves right now. We're not really too worried what other people think, and I think it'll be good.
No, 100%. And there's like, regardless if teams think you guys are underdogs, or even if you guys think yourselves are underdogs, like there's so many other teams there that are underdogs themselves. So you guys have like a really good opportunity, just to kind of showcase your talent and show off what you guys can do. So one of the things that I want to talk about right off the rip is you guys beat Enterprise 2-1 in the upper bracket finals from your region to qualify for this event. In my opinion, that's like a really big win for you guys, given the fact that Enterprise has always been kind of like this Goliath for the region for a long time now. Do you guys feel that like over the course of the season, your guys' skill disparity kind of like tapered off between the two teams, or
Yeah, I think it was after kickoff because I think we lost to them. That was for Salt Lake City. We lost them
okay?
like 2-1,
Mm-hmm.
and it was exactly the same. It was like a close game in OT or something, if I remember correctly. But as soon as we like played that game, I think we just like kind of realized that there was no reason to be too worried or too scared about them. So I think the skill disparity between us was more. It was more a confidence thing rather than actual mechanical thing. Like we did put in a lot of work in off season and stuff to like get up to par, whether that be strats or like map pool or etc. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, the two like I think we were more disappointed in that like grand final game that we didn't beat them because I think we
Mm-hmm.
thought we should have. It wasn't like we beat them 2-1, how lucky. It was more of a we definitely underperformed.
And that game was really close too. Correct me if I'm
It
wrong.
was
That game
yeah,
was
it
like
was literally 8-7,
8-7,
8-7,
8-7. Yeah.
both of them. Yeah.
So like, does it kind of irk you guys when teams, even when I bring it up, when I say, Enterprise being like the Goliath of the region, does it kind of like in the back of your guys' head, do you guys think that, well, it's like, okay, it kind of bugs me because we're not talked about that way and we feel like we can compete with these guys, even though we may not have like the international experience or the results, you guys probably play against them a lot, in scrims and, just matches every day. Do you guys still feel like you guys should have that recognition as well, or?
Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily irks because I think from my point of view, it gives way more motivation to do more when people don't expect you to be the best. I feel like you're grabbing or you're like searching for motivation when you're like a top team in the region. I would assume like you're trying to find things to improve on or whatever. Where people are always saying like you said, like EP being the Goliaths. Most of that roster, every single one of them have been to multiple events. Three people
Mm-hmm.
in my roster haven't even been to an international event before.
Right.
This is literally their first one, and it's not a small one either. It's EWC, like you
100%.
said, $2 million, whatever. But I think it would be nice if the rhetoric wasn't so much around the team because I am completely understand it that they are that Goliath team, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like the effort that my players have gone through to match that level would be nice to see a little bit more respect put on it.
100%. 100%. And you kind of said something that I want to transition into right there. You have international experience coaching, but a few of your players don't have international experience on the roster. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this will be your guys' first international tournament as a full five, as this five. So,
Yeah, you wouldn't know that it's their first event unless you obviously heard comms with like everyone's gonna have questions beforehand, like
mhm.
what is it like, how's the travel?
Yeah.
But the way they're taking it, like even when we're looking for scrims, like people aren't shying away from wanting to like not to be crude about it, but like getting their heads bashed in by these big international teams.
Yeah. And so, like,
It's
go ahead, sorry.
yeah, they're wanting to win every single official, and they're obviously using it as a learning experience. But at the same time, it's like you would the way that they're taking you think that this is their third, fourth international event they've been to.
Oh, that's awesome to hear because Lunchbox and Reals are the only two players that do have international experience, right?
Player.
Oh,
So
player?
player and relays
Oh, okay.
are
Lunchbox
the
doesn't
two
have
that
any.
were no Lunchbox, JK and Neptune haven't played at
Okay.
an international event.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And what's something that you are trying to do as a coach to get these guys mentally prepared for, Lunchbox and Player and Neptune for them, being their first event? What's something that you guys are talking about a lot or prepping, to try to just get them ready?
I think it's more. I guess it is. It's just more like the mentality side.
Hmm.
We've like repped so much. There's nothing different that we're going to really take away besides versing international teams when it comes to scrim, when it comes to practice. Because if you think about it, I'm sure like you've had experience with it before. Like you can sit there and scrim a map against any team of any level, and you're kind of going to have different results. The only real big changes is going to be like pace of play and stuff like that. So I think it's more mental. So it's just more like keep reminding them that you're not just here of luck. Like it's not like we just stumbled our way into a tier 2 qualifier and
Yeah.
ended up at DWC. Like we
Uh,
had to use that beat a really good team who got top 8 at the last event. Like
100.
they made main stage.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're versing some chumps to qualify this event.
Right. 100%. You guys should be proud, to have the accomplishments that you guys have had in your season and then just to be where you guys are right now. You guys also, when I was looking at it on Wikipedia, you guys also took first in your guys' group over Enterprise as well. So not just beating them in playoffs, but also beating them in
Yeah,
the group stage. So that was
we
good.
lost one game the whole group stage, and that was probably our worst performance we played as a team. Like it was one of those days, and I think we found that out very quickly. And going back and rewatching it, that like
Hmm.
I think that our expectation for that should have been going flawless. So it wasn't like you said, like we didn't make a lower bracket run or anything. We stayed upper bracket all the way to the grand final,
Yeah,
losing literally one map in the group.
nice. Yeah, that's definitely something to be proud of. So how long have you guys been in Paris now as a full five?
We landed yesterday
Landed
at
yesterday.
6 in the morning.
Okay, so you guys haven't really had a lot of time to actually experience, the play, the country at all or anything like that. But
No, it's literally we landed, got here, obviously did practice, did some other stuff, and then by that time I think we were so jet lagged and tired, but we've bounced back pretty well.
okay, has there been anything that you've noticed that's like different compared to Australia? Things that you like or dislike or anything like that, or
It's weird because the weather in Australia at the moment is actually really cold.
yeah.
We're having like 8-degree nights. It's not going much over 20, and then we get here and it's literally like 31 degrees. It's like our normal weather.
Uh-huh.
So going outside, it feels like we're just back in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, like it's funnily similar, even the architecture to some cities in Australia. So it's I guess the only real difference is just like obviously the big like tourist attractions and stuff. We don't really have like Eiffel Towers in Australia, so
Mm-hmm. And how does it feel to actually be there with your like full five? Obviously, you have experience doing that, traveling with, your team in previous events and stuff like that. But for some of these newer guys, how is it actually being together as a team and like what's kind of that chemistry and environment been like for everyone?
it's honestly so good, man. I think having people who are fresh to it is good. Like we just obviously had media today,
Hmm.
and it was just so much fun.
Oh
Like
yeah.
people actually enjoying it and being together as a five, eating together, doing whatever you need to do. I
Hmm.
think it's like an unmatched experience being able to like actually, like you said, some people will play with rosters their whole siege career and never be able to see them in real life or do lanes and stuff like that. So I think it's a privilege for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I remember like when I was a player back in the day, like my first media day, you kind of I mean there's two different personalities. You're either like super nervous and you're just kind of like refined and you're not really sure what to do or you're just kind of like, you know what? I'm here and playing video games. You're just going to be outgoing. And I
Yeah,
kind of feel like that's how like Lunchbox would be or something like that. He'd kind of
100%,
just be like out there and do whatever. So,
100% loved every minute.
yeah, that's awesome to hear. I'm excited to see what you guys would put out. Um, so talk to me a little bit about the scrim culture in OCE compared to other regions. Do you guys find it difficult to consistently improve due to the lack of scrim quality?
Um, well, it was something you said before, and it's something that other people in other regions we don't scrim inter competition. So we don't scrim EP, we don't
Mm-hmm.
scrim any of the other teams. Just I think it's purely just a culture thing here. Like we never people haven't really ever did it. Like obviously in off seasons and stuff we'll scrim them once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's more of a they take it quite seriously. We don't want to show anything that we're doing. You don't want to show anything that you're doing because I know in other regions there's a big like counter strat culture.
Yeah. Well,
So it doesn't really matter if you scrimmed another team in NA because you know you're going to get counter stratted anyway. So you're not really missing out on much. But
right.
like the scrim quality is a big your team problem. If you go into a scrim expecting a scrim to troll you, then you're just automatically setting yourself up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
If you go in and set a goal for yourself, and even if the other team trolls but you achieve that goal, it feels like more of a success. I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean that definitely makes sense, but hearing I didn't realize that you guys don't scrim like the top teams in your region, and I guess that does make sense because with you guys, being probably, I don't want to sound like arrogant or anything like that, but you guys being the top two teams, and the other one, all the other teams in the league kind of being pretty far below that, you guys don't want to showcase any of your strategies or any of your map pool, any of the things you're going to show before going into the match against them, because
Yeah,
it could
it's
hurt.
not for the fact of like trying to like hold their head underwater or anything, but like
Hmm.
what do we necessarily get out of it that we can't go because we scrim against the CNL, we scrim against Southeast Asia, we scrim against APAC North. That's where all your three scrims are coming. So we play on C. We both scrim at like 180 ping each,
Hmm.
and that's just the normal here. It may sound crazy, but that's literally the normal. Like we're happy to do that. So like, what do we get out of scrimming these lower tier Australian teams besides just having the rarity of having low ping? When we could scrim, like we scrimmed every single Chinese team that are at this event
Yeah,
multiple times. Like the
but
team we're versing first were our scrim partners during the stage.
doesn't it make more sense? I mean, I guess I don't really know the scrim disparity, but like, doesn't it make more sense to scrim stronger regions if you're like okay with like scrimming with higher ping anyways? Just
Oh,
scrim like.
100%. Like we can scrim like D plus, for example, and
Hmm.
that is a great experience of scrim because they take it just as seriously as we do.
Hmm.
And we're not going to get that if we scrim like a bottom four team in OCE. The scrim quality is completely different. Like it's more of like you said, like we get the opportunity to scrim three regions, all top teams, and we
Right.
could show every single strat and play as hard as we want, and we don't. No team has like a loss for it.
Yeah, and that's why it's like I think a lot of people have used that as the reason that OCE or any region in APAC has kind of been behind, the top three regions for such a long time is because they haven't had the opportunities to develop in scrims as much as North American teams. I actually don't really agree with that because I think in North America itself in T2 the quality of teams are also lackluster. I don't think that they're
Well,
very high
before
right now.
before I joined
So,
these guys, I was helping a T2 NA team
hmm.
through CL, and it was such a gap between like people who obviously were just playing it to playing it, people who were taking it semi seriously, people who wanted to make T1, and
Hmm.
even the gap between some of these T1 teams was so huge from NAL.
Yeah, no, I
Like
agree.
in
The jump
in
is
OCE,
insane.
we don't have T2.
Hmm.
It is T1, and that's the only thing you're going for, and that's why the gap between like the bottom two teams, you'll notice they win like one game because it's literally just throw together teams,
Yeah.
and then all the other players are just mixed in.
It's just interesting because it slowly kind of feels like even in North America that skill disparity has been getting bigger and bigger as, years have gone on. So, I
Do you
don't know.
reckon that comes down to more of the fact that teams are willing to take less risks with players? Because I
Maybe
notice it a lot. There tends to be a lot of recycling of a lot of players, and you get like one or two people who come up and they end up being obviously really good.
that's true, 100%. It could be that, or it could just be due to the fact that there's less money involved in the game, or viewership's down, or there's just maybe the quality of players really is just lackluster right now in all regions. I personally don't think that's true. I think there are probably hidden gems out there that professional organizations aren't taking chances on, like you're saying. Um, I think that they're rather just playing it safe for results because, it's kind of, they don't know what they're going to get.
Because how long's Zambi been playing for example? Like these SR guys, like because obviously like they have international players, but like when was the last NA player that's come through that's been like a world beater besides like Ambies and
Besides like
Pandas and
Ambi, I mean, you could take Stompin for example, but Stompin was then transferred to Europe, but he does come from North America, so.
well, true, yeah, like well, literally Stompin was probably the last what mega talent,
Mhm. And
and that
there's
was more of a like straight. He literally came straight from content, played one T2 tournament, was straight to T1. Like they obviously saw the value in his content, and he just ended up being a good player anyway.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it was they saw the value in his content and his numbers, but they also just saw his value in being a player. He had so much untapped potential, being.
I just feel like there's so much content that comes out of NA. It's literally unmatched with any other region. You're by far the content region of everything. Like even drama wise goes down. It literally comes from NA. It's all very secretive. I feel like in South America and EU, and they don't really like doing it. But like I don't know. It feels like it should be. Well, I mean, to be fair, like it is. I guess you could say super top heavy at the moment. You've had grand finalists. Both of them were NA. Super dominant performances at that. That's all like.
Mhm.
And I'm expecting people are thinking that these DZs and stuff are going to continue that, even if they don't win EWC, because I feel like it's always been very EU dominated.
Well, like
Um,
the
They
reason
should
that
have a good showing regardless.
the reason that I bring up like the scrim culture stuff is because I truly think that I don't want to go off on a tangent here or anything, but I actually think that you guys are a dark horse for the play-ins. Not to put any pressure on, you don't even need to tell the guys this, but I really do think that you guys have a really good opportunity to make it into the group stage. I actually ended up predicting you guys to beat MIBR in the lower bracket final to take
Yep.
the last spot. Um, and I think that one of the things that holds back OCE teams the most is just the lack of scrim quality. And so like I guess one of the other like the transition question is like you said that you scrimmed yesterday and you're gonna scrim today. Have you already noticed? I don't know who you're playing against, but have you already noticed like the quality of scrims and like the ability to fix problems because teams are challenging your setups more
It was
effectively
yeah, it
and
was literally it was literally instant.
yeah.
Like I don't think people really care if we leak who we scrimmed. I'm not going to say what maps we played or anything, but it was
Mhm.
we scrimmed TLOO
Mhm.
yesterday,
Mhm.
and it was instantly the boy. Like even though we were like, tied and stuff, like it wasn't like we were getting completely like out, just like heads bashed in,
Right.
but it was an almost instant notice of, oh yeah, these guys don't fuck around in scrims.
Mhm.
Like it was more the pace of play that like you're probably honestly correct. Like people will disagree, be like, oh no, region's fine, blah blah blah. But like if you could have like weekly practice or pace of play where everything is so quick, everything's so structured, so organized, like we noticed, like, oh okay, yeah, that's the level.
Mhm.
It wasn't like we were like, oh, this is ridiculous. This is the most hard siege we ever played. But it was like, oh, okay,
Well, 100%.
this
And
is where
correct
if this is where they're at in practice, I can't imagine
where they are in a
if they're
game.
peaking on a game day. Like,
Correct me if I'm wrong. Like it's kind of harder for you guys to be able to snap into that mindset when you're playing against, teams that may not be taking it serious all the time or may not be challenging you to your fullest potential. So then you go into a game day against a team that does have the luxury of practicing that way against all these top level teams, and then now you guys are kind of, on the disadvantage. You guys got to come out playing really strong
yeah,
right at the gate.
that's where I think I differ from over analyzing a little bit because when it comes to a scrum practice, I don't take it into too much consideration because I know that there's always a switch
Mhm.
in game day. Like
Mhm.
I would honestly trust every single one of my players to work together and beat a top team.
Nice.
I'm not worried about what other team we versus at this event. If anything, I'm more asking for the challenge because I know every single time, like you saw in the results when we verse EPs,
Yep.
regardless of what tier they're at in comparison to all these other international teams, we've always stepped up. Like even through our kickoff run, like we were versing teams that we weren't that great. And, like we we had like 4 or 5 comebacks even against EP.
Mhm.
We had like comebacks where we're just not behind. So we play better when we're under pressure. And I think it's going to be very important that like in this first game against TYLOO, we cannot hide behind the moment and blame this the moment that we're in on how we played. It needs to be like the opposite of we're in others man, so why aren't we playing
I
better
see.
than we have before?
And by the moment, you mean like the pressure of EWC or like the of like nerves letting,
Literally whatever it may be. It could
what?
be
Yeah,
the fucking overtime like ranked. I like to put that feeling and that like experience that you're explaining into like view of literally every single situation you play, regardless if you're playing T1 or something.
yeah,
You should never excuse like the pressure because pressure only exists when you put it on yourself.
right. I like that. That makes sense. Um, well, I would like to transition that into because as you just said, you guys are playing TYLOO tomorrow. How are you feeling about that matchup? You did say earlier in the conversation that you have scrimmed the CNL teams quite a bit. So, any expectations that you have going into that matchup?
Honestly, it's more expecting them to just like want to beat us.
Hmm.
I have no expectations for my team. I think I have standards that I
Right.
expect to hit and I expect actually like how for us to like perform or whatever. But besides that, I think like when it comes to them, we expect them to want to beat us, and I think we're in the exactly same situation as them. Coming from this APAC region, scrim quality is exactly the same. People
Right.
have no expectation of them to go anywhere.
Hmm.
So why would they not want to come out here and be like, oh look, we can beat these Oz teams who have been around longer than us. We want to go versus whoever wins at ASR and OLA Club. Like I think it's going to be obviously a really good game, but I think yeah, I think it's two teams in very similar situations.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I don't wanna like spoil my predictions or anything like that, or like say too much, but I do think that you guys. I don't know. I think that it's going to be you guys versus SR, and I'm excited to see how that game will go.
That's
So
honestly, that's what we want to happen. I don't want them to lose to Aula and Evia one. I
they
want to verse.
they won't.
I want to yeah. I want to verse that team because I think um it's just it will be. I think it will be the better match, but I also think it like we're very confident in beating that team.
This isn't something that I have written down, but I'm interested to hear about it. I obviously, as a coach, you probably don't want to be thinking about too much in the future, and you want to take it game by game. Beat TYLOO in front of you.
100%.
But if you guys did have the opportunity to play against Shopify, what's something that you guys are like looking forward to in that matchup? Not is it just because it's a notorious NA team? Have you guys had any opportunities to play against any North American teams in general, or
I don't want to.
what's
I don't like. I assume that all the NA teams here are either boot camping somewhere else or doing it. But like, I think when it comes to that matchup, I want them to play their best.
right?
I want them to. I want to force them in every single round to have to be like, oh, holy shit, man! Like
Just push them to the brink,
this is. Yeah. This is not gonna. I don't want it to be a fun match for them whatsoever.
right?
It's if you're gonna beat us, I want you to beat us by actually having to challenge yourself. Because as soon as we let teams walk over us and we fail to do what we came here to do.
100%. And I really hope I get to see that matchup. I hope you guys get to experience that matchup and push them to the brink like you're talking about. So I think that's all that I have from my end. If you have anything that you want to say to anyone that may be watching, the floor is yours. Anything that you may want to shout out, to the organization, regardless of if you don't, no worries. But
Yeah, no, it's obviously just like yeah, shout out Chase and stuff, and to anyone that's watching or anyone that's
hmm
I dabbled in T2 and NA, and I think it's what I'll leave is it's a mentality thing.
hmm
If you can fix your mentality, it doesn't matter if you have worse players on your team because if you can come into big games and be mentally strong and forcing these teams to do anything, you can literally do what we did. There's not a single person in our region, even the casters, that thought that this team was going to make an international event, and then it happened within a stage.
Hey, well, just so you know, I am rooting for you guys and I believe in you guys.
Thank
So
you, thank you.
I think, shout out to you. Appreciate you coming on to do this interview and tell the boys I said good luck. I think that you guys
Easy.
have a very good opportunity to be dark horses for these play-ins. Just do everything that you're talking about mentality-wise, and you guys have a great opportunity to turn some heads.
Perfect. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.